Guys, this is not a drill. I repeat, this is not a drill. I think Lou is actually about to do something. And I have to say, if this is actually the final battle of all of Sakamoto days, even if we had to wait just about under 180 chapters for our girl Lou to actually pick up the hands and throw fists with someone, it has to be now. And we can even see at the very end of the chapter, she is already nice, drunk, and ready to go. She's hiccuping. You can see the cans of alcohol falling out of the truck as she jumps out to throw that kick. God bless Yuto Suzuki for this. Again, I hate the fact that it took almost 200 chapters to have Lou actually fight again, because genuinely, the last time Lou actually did anything substantial in the series was when Shin and Lou fought Saw the serial killer in the Death Row Prisoner arc. And that is so far back in the series that the anime has just covered that in its second core of season 1. So to give you any idea how long we have been waiting, before we can talk about the big Lou moment, we do have to talk about the rest of this chapter and how everything kind of gets set up. So just to rewind back a little bit, we do pick up exactly where we left off with the Heisuke, Kumanomi, and Luchadore fight, and we do get a little bit more characterization on the Luchadore as a whole. For some reason, it seems like this wrestler genuinely thinks that he is on the right side of history. He is a hero that is doing the right thing, but that is obviously not the case because he is aligned with villains, which might actually be how Heisuke ends up winning this fight from what it seems like, because as the wrestler and Heisuke turn up the fight a little bit, because the wrestler was completely immune to the fire, as Heisuke is getting knocked away and is unable to dodge, he starts to, use his gun, which is just awesome. He fires the gun at the ground, hops over a person before he crashes into them, and Kumanomi is like, damn, you should have just used those people to cushion yourself. The Luchadore is like, how dare you make me look like the bad guy by you being the hero right now. And Heisuke is like, hey, look, even if I don't win this fight, the fact that I'm holding you guys off and keeping you away from getting Sakamoto means that I'm doing a good service right here. Even if I lose this fight, I've already done my job, which I think is a good setup for Heisuke as well, to prove that he knows he's in a losing fight. Suzuki knows he's in a losing fight. They aren't kind of changing the narrative to make it seem like Heisuke has a chance here. Like, it's very clear that Heisuke is probably going to lose this fight, especially with the level of power he's up against, which is why, again, I think with this hero complex the Luchadore seems to have, it's possible the wrestler may actually end up joining Heisuke and turning against Kumanomi, which may turn the tables a decent amount if you can give Heisuke not only the ability to get back into a support role, but you have a character that's completely invincible, it seems. Maybe that's a perfect counter to Kumanomi's magnetism. This video is sponsored by GamerSupps, the ultimate energy and focus formula. Use my code NOOP now for 10% off, and thank you GamerSupps for sponsoring the channel. Then the chapter continues on into our protagonists and how they're speeding through the city trying to get to their location, and they hit a traffic jam because the police have set up a stop and they are basically searching cars because, the police are in on it with the order in the JAA. They are also looking for Sakamoto. But because we, the viewers, have inside information, we also know that this cop they run into, tension building, is the cop that has just recently joined the order and loves using his badge and his gun to just kill people indiscriminately. And at first, they almost get away with everything, right? He doesn't recognize Boiled, he doesn't recognize Wu-Tang, all of these people, you know what I mean? Which obviously they're, mid-ranged, Boiled was in prison for a while. It makes sense that he wouldn't be on the lookout for these guys. However, they almost get away with it because they try to put Granny Mio on top of Sakamoto on the bed and make it look like they're delivering a critical condition patient to the hospital. And at first, almost gets by, but Granny Mio is unfortunately putting so much pressure on Sakamoto that it ends up causing his vitals to start giving out, and the beeping sends out, which immediately gives away the illusion, and Granny Mio has to get off of Sakamoto so that way she doesn't fucking kill him. And the cop immediately, without a doubt, in 2 seconds, he goes from being outside of the car to inside of the car with a gun pointed at Sakamoto's temple. And even though Shin does his best to command stop, what ends up happening is all of this was a big trap. Even though Shin stopped the cop from firing in that moment, again, remember, Shin only gets one chance at any of this. So the fact that Shin wasted his one stop, and now not only are they stuck in the traffic jam because this whole checkpoint, as mentioned earlier, was a setup by this cop. All of these people just start surrounding the truck so they can't escape because, again, they were probably all either hired to do so or, you know, lured in by the cop to start looking around at this crazy scene, making it so they can't really, like, you know, drive off of the platform or drive off of the road. They're completely trapping everyone here. But instead of dealing with any of that bullshit, again, this is where the most unexpected moment of all time shows up. Because one of the streams that we did a couple weeks ago, we were kind of theorizing what fights would be set up with what, who would be set up with who does the cop make the most sense to go up against. The cop was kind of an outlier, where some people are genuinely like perfect counters to others. Like, again, I still think the twins are perfect setup to go up against Natsuki Shiba and Mafuya Shiba, but the cop was, again, I had trouble pinpointing him with someone, and that's because I would have never guessed that Lou would be the one going off. It's so funny that this is how we're getting all of these 1v1s. Like, are we going to get a scene of every character jumping out of the back of the van and taking a one-on-one fight so everyone can continue on the way? Like, I would think that's so meme worthy and so funny, I wouldn't even care. Like, because we just had it with Heisuke. Now Lou pretty much did almost the exact same thing. I'm just gonna start cracking up if this is how everything continues to go for the rest of the foreseeable future. But look, all I'm saying is, if Lou is fighting, I am more than excited to see what the hell is going to be happening, because I don't know if Suzuki is going to start juggling multiple fights at once. I sure hope not. I think Lou and Heisuke going on at the same time is perfect to cut back and forth to. That makes complete sense. But if we start doing 3 to 4 fights, that might be a lot. But either way, I can't express how excited I am to see Lou in what is most likely going to be her third and last battle of the series, take on this cop that just wants to use his badge for indiscriminate killing. The former mafia triad, you know, daughter fighting, you know, a crooked cop. Honestly, again, it makes sense now that we have the whole picture, but before I never would have seen this coming. And that's mostly just because Lou has just been so underutilized throughout the entire series, but not anymore, baby. Lou Xiaotang fans, rise up, because Yuto Suzuki heard our cries, he heard our pleas, he heard our prayers, thank God. But guys, in all honesty, I am super duper excited to see where this goes, and I hope you guys are too. I'm excited to always go on this journey of Sakamoto days with you guys, so leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys are thinking so I can be in tune with that, and hit that like button if you enjoyed and you made it this far into the video. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe if you want to see the next Sakamoto Days review or any other content that may get released on the channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.